Well, good evening. Welcome to meeting of the North Andover Council on Aging. This is a special meeting that Kathy, our director, has asked for to have some discussion about a tagline for the senior center. And so I'll turn the meeting over to Kathy, and she's going to be assisted with the process by one of our new members, Luke Michael. So Kathy, tell us about, and Luke, tell us about doing a tagline.
Yep, I'm going to be very, very brief since we only have 45 minutes and I don't want to take up much time. And a lot of this is all connected. Kind of the speed of what we're doing is connected to the grant that we've gotten. This was on our agenda anyway for this year, but we're kind of moving it up. So Luke has great experience in this, and so we're gonna let him tell you about him and what he's doing. So I'm going to turn it right over to Luke.
All right, thank you. Let me drive the ship. And as Larry mentioned, I'm a fairly recent addition to the Council on Aging. Thank you everyone for being here, and to people who may yet join. Tonight, as Kathy mentioned, we're in the process of thinking about a tagline for the senior center. So I just need to flip back and forth a little bit to my two different tabs, so you might get a break here and there. But really, the tagline is going to be a really important part of increasing the visibility across our community for the North Andover Senior Center and the services it offers. This whole initiative, and Kathy, jump in if I'm getting any of this wrong, but it really includes developing a tagline, and we're going to incorporate that tagline into a larger communication campaign that includes a revised logo, a website, and a newsletter, and probably some other communications as well. The goal of this evening, in the next 45 minutes or so, is really to gather input and ideas for developing a set of proposed taglines that we will review for discussion and deliberation at the next COA meeting on February 8th. That's the regularly scheduled one. So I'm looking forward to getting your thoughts on sort of the ideas that we're going to share here. So any questions before we begin?
I just want to add, so one of this is we needed to get this done because we have students that are working, that are going to work on a logo for us. I have reached out to North Andover High School, to Lawrence Tech, and to the Brooks School. I've not heard from North Andover School. Lawrence Tech is 100% in with their graphics art. So as soon as they're back from spring break, I'll be presenting in their class and about this, and then continue to try to reach out to the North Andover School. So
great, thanks. So just a couple of little background, what is a tagline? And this is based a little bit on my experience in developing communications. Is really a tagline signifies the mission of the organization. It's a promise to the people that it serves. It's a valuable first impression. I like to think of it as a welcome sign. It also represents a community of people. And I'm interested in hearing if anybody else thinks about taglines in a different way. Like, are there other impressions from people on what a tagline signifies?
If I may, Luke, I just think for myself, a tagline is something that's recognizable, but in every word that's in it, you don't have to explain it any further.
Perfect. And it might be a good segue into, actually I have a little more on that in another slide, but I did want to sort of talk about who are we trying to reach? And I think one of the important things to think about this evening is that you are part of the audience for this, right? Everybody here who is either a member of the COA or of the North Andover Senior Center. I mean, this tagline represents you, but it also represents the things, the things that you strive for. But we're also trying to reach our existing clients, prospective clients, people that could be part of the senior center experience that may not yet, caretakers and their families, staff and volunteers, donors and supporters, local and state representatives and officials, related organizations and associations, the ones that we work with and we are connected to, certainly the people of North Andover. Did I miss anyone?
No.
I know it's a big lift.
I would add on there the adult children that may not be residents, but they may be out there, but the adult children of some of our most vulnerable residents.
All right. I'm jotting these notes down. I don't really have a note on this. I had hoped to have two screens, but I'm a little limited by my space here. So thank you. Kala, to sort of follow up on what you're saying, what makes a successful tagline? It's flexibility and adaptability to future situations. Sometimes we think of it as the here and now, but it's always worth thinking about what might be. So I think that, you know, you want a tagline that to Kala's point is really recognizable, and every word does a lot of work and is unambiguous. But it also needs to be somewhat flexible so that you can apply it in situations that you may not foresee. It should be relevant to a broad range of needs and interests. I think we'll look at some examples of taglines, and I think some of them do a really good job, and some of them really focus in on a certain thing that may exclude people from really being able to appreciate it. A tagline is personal and yet it's public. It's really something that's meaningful to a person, but it's also meaningful to a community. To Kala's point, easy to understand, remember, and to repeat. This will kind of be our elevator pitch as we move forward. So we should keep that in mind. And it supports our brand name. It really is an integral part of North Andover Senior Center, or whatever name we come up with at the end of this. So the other thing to keep in mind is no tagline is perfect. We would like to reach perfection, but in every case, there's always some level of compromise. So always worth keeping in mind. Any questions or comments so far?
Nope.
Great. So in sort of preparing for this, I did some initial research, and I'm just going to open my screen up a little bit so I can read it. There we go. These are the taglines and themes of some of the regional organizations around New England, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts. Just to it sort of gave me a little orientation as to what other agencies were doing. In most cases, these are elder services groups. Some of them are, I think, private or nonprofit groups. There were a few senior centers, in other words, government organizations in here. But in looking at these taglines, I sort of began to derive a set of themes around what these were about and you know, what they were trying to convey. And I took those themes into our next, our little exercise for tonight. But, you know, one of the things I noticed, and I highlighted these words in red, is that most taglines did not address senior or elder or aging specifically. So I thought that was just an interesting feature of some of them. Some chose to, some didn't. But in many cases, remember that these taglines were associated to a name, for example, Framingham Elder Services or something like that. So it's really up here for reference. I was wondering, you know, if anybody you can sort of see that there are different kinds. Some are sentences, some are collections of words, some are phrases that aren't quite sentences. You know, one of the things that jumps out at me is the one that says your first call for resources, options, and services. That's sort of almost a call to action tagline. The number 10 is a long one. It bites off a lot there. It's empowering individuals across the lifespan to live with dignity and independence. The one thing my concern with that is that lifespan, you know, what does that mean? It could be anywhere, I suppose. But you know, there are different things about, like, a lot of them focus on independence. In fact, that was a really important feature of many of these taglines. Some of them talked about being part of a choice or a journey. Any thoughts on any here that sort of jump out at you or make you feel like, you know, they're particularly effective or maybe ineffective?
I see in them, you know, something I like in a lot of them, maybe pulling a word from here and there. And I guess that one of the when I was thinking about it, are we, and I think we'll find as this exercise continues, because there's different ways, as you said. Do we go forward with a tagline? Is it really a tagline that demonstrates our philosophy? Is it a tagline that demonstrates our service and programs? I don't have an answer to that, but I think that would be a direction that we'll have to see, depending on what the tagline is, what that does.
Yeah. And Kathy, I think one of the things that I would take forward out of this evening is to think about, try to do a variety of approaches, like you say,
Yeah.
look at options that are about our services, look at options that are about our philosophy, and then put that to the group for input and final decisions of which ones to move forward.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah.
Did I hear a comment?
I like number 6 and 11.
First call for resources, options, and services. I do too.
Yeah. 6 and 11.
Although I'd like 11 if it ended with quality living instead of quality life.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Who was that speaking? Excuse me.
Dave.
Dave.
Dave. Thank you, Dave.
And I've said this to Kathy on several occasions. One word that I particularly like is the word purposeful. So if you threw purposeful living in there, quality care for a quality or purposeful quality, something that basically addresses that everybody's life choices are different, but if it's of purpose to them, then it alludes to quality of life for them.
Yeah. Almost like quality through purpose. Yeah. Good. Anybody else? If somebody thinks about something later, we can certainly come back to this and move on. So I'm going to throw this to the group a little bit, and I kind of did my best to get everybody's initials up here.
Oh, nice job. That was quick. At 5 o'clock, that wasn't there.
I know. I really, and I suddenly realized that I'm not really live in my presentation, so I might have to click out of that. But the idea here is that I'm not everybody's on the phone either, so I might just call out names and see if people have thoughts about this. But what I was going to ask is if people could give me your top, talk about these words. These I derived from looking at some of those taglines, from thinking about some of the themes that were coming out of those. So I'm going to just jump off for a second. So what I'm going to do is ask you to look at this list. I'm actually going to go to a slide in the back here quickly and put down call as purposeful. The other thing you can do is collect new words. So if there are words here that you respond to, great. If there are words here, if there are other words we want to think about, we'll add those to the.
I like the word quality that was used in one of the taglines.
Okay. We don't see it here. Great. Let's stay here for a minute. Any other words?
Embracing.
Embracing.
Celebrating.
Rather than the word change, I like changing. Because I see change as fluid.
Yeah.
Hi, baby.
I don't know if I like the word inclusion itself, but something similar to inclusion.
Right.
So yeah, I know. Again, these could be words we use or ideas that we try to.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Like something that's
convey.
encompassing
Yeah.
everyone, all
Who
encompassing.
was mentioning diversity?
diversity and inclusion,
Diversity.
the word all to use within a thing, but that
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, the
Yep.
word all.
the word all.
Okay, great.
And sit down.
Sorry, was that a suggestion or was?
I mean, I like all of these words, quite honestly.
Well, that was why I was asking. I was going to ask everyone for their top three, and it's a little. Some of this is hard choices, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Paula, if you had to pick your top three, what would they be?
My top three is, I think probably hard not to work from a brain of where advocacy. I like that. I like the commitment, and the compassion.
We can certainly do a Yankee swap and come back to the first person. And I think JIM is you, Maria. How about you? Do you have any words?
I'm at a very bad disadvantage here because I don't see anything. It's not visual to me.
Okay.
And I need to see to make a comment. So I'm just listening to all the ideas that you guys are coming up with, and they sound good to me. So,
Maria.
Sorry.
I'd be happy to read them off to you too.
Maria,
Yes.
Maria, if you could think of just three, if you wanted to convey a message to someone about who the senior center is, what three words come to your mind?
I didn't even understand what you were saying. I was getting an echo.
Maria, I don't know if I'm going to give you an echo too. What Kathy was asking is if you could think of three words that describe the senior center, what would they be?
Oh, they'd be communications with other seniors. How shall I say it? Integrating with other seniors is probably better. Let's see, socializing, and let's see, whatever. Socializing is very, very, very up there.
Okay.
That's about it. I need to see these things. I need to sit and look.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's fine. I think your input's great. Those are great ideas. And sometimes maybe the person that doesn't see things comes up with the ideas that
maybe.
Yeah. Is Kantara on the line?
I don't know. Yeah, I thought she was coming too, so I don't think you're on here.
Okay. How about Denise?
No, she's not on.
All right. I think I have Ellen Donovan. Do you know if she's joined yet?
Eileen, no, she's the one that said she couldn't get on. So.
Okay. Dave, how about you? I know you're here.
I'm here. Yeah, I'd like the word service, partnership,
Yeah, it's good.
and action.
Great. Dave, any words that weren't on that list or you'd like to add?
Friendship, is that on there?
No. It is now.
It is now. Well, here's that one.
I'm fine with that list.
Okay, great. Heather, I think you're here. I think
Heather is not.
Heather is not. Sorry. Leah is not.
No, I thought she was going to be what too. I wonder if people couldn't get on because all these people said they were going to be here, but I wonder if something happened.
Okay, we can take this to the, if we want to reopen the conversation at some point, we certainly can. But I think we're getting great input here. Larry, how about you?
Oh, you're muted, Larry.
Yeah, I like the idea of community. Inclusion is good. Compassion.
Great.
And I think Maria mentioned communicating. I think that's important.
Friendship.
I guess that would be on sort of the list where you were adding communication in there. And probably conversation and learning too.
Yeah, great. If I could spell.
We know what you mean.
Yeah, I know what I mean. I'll correct it for the record.
Yeah.
Just a quick question about the word communication for a second. Are you talking about that the senior center is communicative, or are you talking about people communicating with each other through the senior center?
Both.
Both, okay. It's a place for dialogue.
Yeah, and understanding.
Yeah, great. Actually, that's a nice one.
That's
Yeah.
a great one.
Yeah.
I'm going to figure out how I might just repeat that. I might just copy the slide if we keep coming up with one. So let me duplicate it. Just in case people are brainstorming more. This is fantastic. Thank you all. MVW. MVW was.
I'm here.
Oh, hi. And who is I?
It's Pat Riley.
Hi, Pat. Welcome.
But I am at the same, have the same problem that Maria. I can't see a thing that you're talking about. That's
Well, we'll throw
right.
the question out to you. Are there words that you think of when you think of the North Andover Senior Center? What words come to mind?
One of them would be socialization. That was one that Maria mentioned. Another one would be service. Some of these are words that you'd already mentioned before. Friendship.
Sorry, what was that last one?
Friendship.
Friendship.
Yeah.
Great. Terrific. Thank you. Is Remo with us?
Yeah, I'm right here.
Hey, Remo.
How you doing?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm doing excellent. I like on your list here. I like the service one on that list first, right there.
Yeah.
I like that because we do provide a service for them. I also like on the other list the socializing and friendship, because I think that's a big part of bringing all the seniors together. Socializing, friendship, they bond with each other, and that's really important.
Good. RMJ was.
RMJ.
Yeah, who's the email? I think it was. Sorry, Kathy, I don't have the emails up in front of me anymore.
That's
So
okay. I don't know, but I don't think they're on because I think with us, we just have Tally.
it might be RNJ. All right, Tally.
Tally's
You guys have such good ones. I really think community, because we are, it encompasses. So community, I do love friendship and service, like Remo. And I like compassion.
I asked for 3, but you can certainly.
Sorry.
No. I'm gonna say it's. We're not. It's usually just like sometimes it's people can like. Well, I've got 2, but the more the merrier. So it was. I have friendship on the other one, compassion, and I can't remember.
Community.
Community. Yeah. Community.
And if I had a 4th, it would be service.
Service, great, thanks. Kathy, how about you?
So I do like them all. And in my brain, like I say, I keep going back and forth between, the philosophy aspect and what we do. I do like engaged, say we were at a philosophy that it was engaged aging, or celebrating aging or something like that.
Oh.
But I think I do like service, and I think service community, because overall that's what we are here to serve.
Yeah.
Would be, I like an indicator that everyone is included, that the inclusion and the diversity. I think inclusion to me is better than diversity. That would include the diversity. advocacy is a big part of what we do that people don't even know that's what we do. So I think that's probably where I would hang right now.
Great.
But I could be persuaded into any of these, honestly.
It all depends on where our focus lies. Like, is it on actual center, or is it on the people of the center? Like, it's
I think that's one of the challenges, and one of the probably the next step is, as we come forth with some ideas, we will group them by focus, right? And I think we can look for ideas that sort of cover different areas of focus. I mean, sometimes those 3-word taglines are good because you can get 3 concepts in one tagline as opposed to into one.
Agreed. Yeah.
So just final thoughts on these word lists. Now that people have had a chance to look at them, any further thoughts? Anybody want to add or change anything?
Quintara's coming in.
Oh, Quintara.
One thought I would have wondering on this, when I think of organizations and the idea of vision and mission, as a lot of people write vision statements and struggle with the idea of vision statement, I was always taught the idea of a vision is around what would somebody see.
Yeah.
So I wonder if we thought in terms of the senior center, what is our vision of the senior center? It would be related to when people walked in, or visitors walked in, or regulars walked in, what would they see? What would their sense of vision be? And do we like that? What would we like people to see when they walked in the door and walked through the place?
I might like to add a word, supporting, because it's a very supporting environment.
Adding a word. Who was that?
Tally.
Hi, Tally.
Hello.
And did I hear that Quintara joined?
I think Quintara is there now.
I'm here.
Okay.
Just here for the fun part.
Sorry, I think I was waiting for a reminder, and then I remembered how it got set to 5, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, it's already 6:30." I just couldn't even believe it.
So, Quintara, we have some slots for you. The exercise so far has been to look at a list of words. I'm just going to jump back quickly. I did some research into existing taglines from areas, derive some themes, and from there pull some words out that we've sort of had a group discussion, and people have sort of picked the ones that resonate with them. So now that you've joined, this was sort of our starting list of words, but people were also coming up with new ones. So we'll ask you the question too. Are there, words on this list that jump out at you as the North Andover Senior Center represents, or as Larry has mentioned, this is, when people see the North Andover Senior Center, this is what they will see.
I definitely think community, and that also, I mean, whenever I'm somewhere and I see community center or something, that would make me think it's a place for people to gather.
Yeah.
And I also think I saw on that list like friendship, and every time I'm going to an event, that's what I see at the center is like a lot of relationships and friendships, and like that sense of community of just like really being together.
Yeah.
And like the learning, I was going to say education, but the learning. And I think, that's something I notice people in, like, let's say in retirement, a lot of what they're seeking is just like engagement, education, like being of service themselves. So that those ones kind of come out to me. And I see some other words that I like, but I don't know if it represents it. Like, I think it would be something that would certainly be like compassionate and all that. I like all of that, but I don't know if it's like how I would describe the center as much as what I would expect from the center.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah.
Yeah. Agreed.
And that's a good, thing to keep in mind for everyone is like, what kind of expectations are we setting with a tagline, right? And that goes to Larry's point too, in terms of vision, what do people expect to see when they come into the senior center?
I got a comment.
Yeah.
See, I see them when I drive them to going out to eat places and their grocery shopping, whatever, and listening to them. And they're a riot. They socialize in friendship. And those were a couple of those words. And I think that's very important. I mean, they talk about one another. They talk to each other about, hey, remember this? Remember we did this? And I'm driving by places and they talk about it. And they're wicked socializing with each other. And I think that's very important. And the friendship, they bond with each other. When they go out to eat, they're laughing, they're talking to each other. And I think those are very important. That's just my opinion, but, just thought I'd throw that in.
Yeah, totally agree.
I agree. Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree
Definitely.
too. The other thing to think about is if in the, I guess, the naming of the senior center, if the word community is in it, then that might not be a word that we use in the tagline.
So if I could comment on the name, so we had two votes that went out, one that the town uses the flash vote that went out, and then we sent another vote out through our whole database. In both cases, it was 68%, 70% want the name to be the North Andover Senior Center.
Yay.
That is where the town is going to go. Because the vote is the vote. I mean, it's how do you say, oh yeah, you all voted for that at extremely high rates. I mean, 70%, far and above everything else that was put out there. And then they're not going to go with that. So we haven't met to finally determine that, but I would say that's where it's going to go. So then your tagline will be that important piece to that.
Absolutely.
So.
Kathy,
I think that makes it even more important, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's why to know that that is going to really like the tagline. Honestly, is going to be more important than the name of the building. It really is. And people will come to the building based on what's being offered in the building. They're not going to care what it's called. If we have pickleball, those pickleball players are coming there. They don't
That's
care
right.
the building. So
Pickleball goes on the list. Yeah.
So
great. This is Kathy, are you feeling like that we're moving in the right direction here?
I do. I mean, I love hearing, what everyone is saying, and it's good to see everyone's perceptions of where they are at. I would agree with the word community. I love that word because that word, automatically, I mean, it should automatically include everyone. It is for the whole community. And because it's also a building, so if it's the North Andover Senior Center, it's still going to be for community use. So if the Girl Scouts want to meet there, they can. If this group, and we'll make that clear in that this building is the people's building, for the lack of a better word, that it's there for everyone to use. And I think it's a great model and can be really successful that way.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's some very strong trends here that we can pick up on. Yeah.
Just a time check, Luke. I see we've got 10 minutes left if you have a hard stop at 6:45.
No.
We do. We're actually, unless anybody has any further thoughts, I'm going to move on to probably the final, just quick review. And certainly, if a word pops into anybody's head, just shout it out, and I'll put it on the list. So, sort of taking some of those ideas, I mean, I think we are not voting on a tagline tonight, but I think that there are some kind of different sort of themes that came out, as I began to look at these words, I began to think about some of these things. I just strung some words together, some ideas together. I just wanted to sort of get a temperature check from people, and, and I kind of call it a warm cold, like you're getting warmer, you're getting colder kind of a thing. And I wanted to throw some of these out here and sort of see if anything resonated or people were gravitating towards certain kinds of taglines or certain themes in these. These are not by any means developed with all the new ones we talked about, but
so are these all original? There are no stealers?
Well, they're all original as far as I know. I did not check every senior center in the country,
I'll
but
take that. I'll take it. The couple that I love is Many Voices, One Community. I love that. I also love age and experience in action, you know, and so some of that's kind of they're kind of philosophical ones. And then if you head towards programming, service advocacy, community partnership, service, community. I mean, I like all of those. I like them all, honestly. Here for you, here from each other. I actually, you know. Yeah.
I think again, these were done without the, you know, without some of these great words. And I think, you know, friendship and socializing are two themes we are going to explore strongly. So are there any here that just turn you off? Anybody?
Many friends, many community, many friends, one community. You know, I love that. Actually, that's probably my favorite. Many voices, one community. It sounds so strong, just so strong.
Yeah.
Standing together. Just
I'm a person that likes alliteration. And so commitment, community, compassion, the 3 C's.
Yeah.
Is kind of what I think of when I see those words strung together as, you know, the 3 C's of what we do.
I'm not the biggest fan of embracing change through community. I don't know that it speaks enough to the core of what we're trying to highlight.
Yeah.
With the senior center. Yes, we want like diversity and things like that, but I don't know if I even really get that through that tagline.
I agree.
Based on I gave it a cold color. So based on the conversations we had about friendship and socializing, I think that, you know, some of these are a little chilly. So
yeah, a place for you, a place for everyone. I don't dislike it, but it more sounds like an assisted living. I don't know. I would say that, and I also like resources for quality life, but I don't know if it's strong enough. Like again, that almost to me then reads more like age span. You know, like because they're more hand delivering the services. That's how I would think. But I love the age and experience in action a lot.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
To me, that's like a real tagline.
I'm going to heat that up.
The one that says new ideas for our senior community sounds kind of exclusionary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How so, Larry?
I think commitment to creating a stronger senior community. I don't love either. I'd rather creating a stronger community.
Yeah.
And not put senior in there.
And that's interesting. Kantara, before you joined, we were sort of talking about looking at those other taglines, and there were only a few of them actually addressed senior, aging, or elder in their taglines. So I think what I'm hearing from the group is that senior, although it's what the senior center, we want the senior center to know that it's not seniors is kind of what I'm getting at there. Like it's really about community.
And we also, though, serve more than just the seniors. I mean, we, again, like their adult children, if they need help, we are a resource for them. For actually students, we bring them in as volunteers and, you know, work with them as well. So I wouldn't want that in our tagline either.
Okay.
I see this as something that'll come underneath on literature, on stationery, on the sign of the building, everything. That kind of thing. And that's where, you know, when it says North Andover Senior Center, here for you, here for each other, really rings warmly to me.
Yes. Yeah.
Right. I mean, great point, because I think we have to see these in tandem, right? And how they work with our name.
What do you want? Just a minute.
I'm thinking, I'm just throwing this out there, of something longer. I know that taglines should be shorter, but if we had community for all through, and then like service, advocacy, and friendship, or
Stop.
I know that's kind of long, but where you
Too long.
kind of hit it all.
Sounds like a mouthful.
Yeah.
It is, but I think there's a seed of
But
an
in
idea
literature.
So I'm gonna. So I'm not looking at the group. So who mentioned that? Who brought that up?
Tally.
So Tally, can you sort of try and paraphrase that again? I'm going to try and write
It
it
was
down.
community for all through service, advocacy, and friendship, or pick the top 3 that we like.
Let's think about that. I like, that's almost a 2-parter. Like, you've got a kind of a promise and then sort of a mission.
Right.
Yeah.
Can you do community for all? Not
Then like a slash or something, like a.
well, get rid of all. What do you call? I can't even think. Not a hyphen. What do I want?
To Larry's point, we're coming up on time.
Yeah,
so
okay.
I think this just provides a little more food for thought for me and for the team. So I'm gonna just sort of do closing thoughts, feedback on the session.
Fabulous.
Great.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Any questions about how we did it or what happens or why we did it?
So moving forward, I'd say we'll have our regular COA meeting, and we will pick this up. I'm hoping, Luke, that we can condense some of the finer points and get to some of the points and bring this up at a full meeting when we have our meeting.
I think that is the idea, Kathy. I think we have so many good ideas to pick from. That's going to be a challenge, but I think if we can come to the next meeting with a set of good choices, we can narrow it down further, if not pick one.
Yeah. And we have time, as I say, at the next meeting, so no one feels like we have to, if we have our next meeting and we're not ready to pick one and we want to continue the conversation, we can schedule another special meeting to then kind of tie it up.
Okay, great. All right, everybody, I think we're at time. Cam is going to come in a minute, I guess,
that's great.
I don't know if he just shuts us up. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, so I would say, thanks to Kathy and Luke for putting this together, and thanks for all of you for coming and participating.
Fantastic.
Thank you all.
Thank you all.
Thank you, guys.
See you next time.
Motion to adjourn.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.